Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is incredible. It's a cult classic DS murder mystery puzzle game, and now it's finally been ported to modern consoles, and I couldn't put it down. The setup is this. You awaken in a junkyard to realise that you are dead, and now have ghost powers that allow you to possess inanimate objects, talk to the dead, and rewind time exactly 4 minutes before a person's death in hopes of saving them. The mystery and intrigue were instantly created. I was speaking to a lamp that was also possessed by the spirit of somebody who had died, and within minutes I had to try alter history to stop the death of Lynn, this red-headed detective, and from there, I couldn't stop. It took me roughly 10 hours to beat it, and I did it in 2 sittings. Mechanically, Ghost Trick is pretty simple. You're given these rooms to explore, and your only way of navigating them is by possessing different objects to get where you need to be. And it's quite intuitive. Even as the puzzles ramped up, I was rarely stumped, and that's thanks to the handy hint system. As you progress through a scenario, the protagonist or whoever I was trying to save would chime in with helpful dialogue pointing me towards my next point, and the tips are optional so you can choose to ignore them if you like. Apart from simply moving through objects, you can also manipulate them, which can be as simple as opening a cabinet to move closer to the next object, or something more impactful like spinning a fan faster to create a chain reaction of events. I love the simplicity of mechanics. I typically overthink puzzles in games, but because of how simple this game was, I was never smashing my head off a wall trying to figure stuff out. Now, there is a decent bit of trial and error which has you experience in the same scenarios over and over again, and at times it was a bit frustrating. I would have liked if there was a fast forward and rewind feature because it would have eliminated all of this. A handful of puzzles had me stumped, and I could be right near the end of a scenario, make one wrong move and have to reset back to the start, and I was reaching out for a rewind feature in these moments. Similarly, fast forwarding scenarios that I've already watched 4 or 5 times would have been a nice quality of life improvement. All of these puzzle scenarios are just a way to experience this brilliant story. The choice word for this review is mystery, and oh god did they have me hook, line and sinker. I have limited knowledge with murder mystery stories and games, but I can almost guarantee that you won't be able to predict this story. Every single chapter brought a new thread to be pulled, and I'm going to keep everything as vague as possible. The initial story is about the protagonist trying to figure out how he died and who he was, but it evolves into something so much better as you go along. The story is carried by the absolutely phenomenal cast of characters. I fell in love with their designs and personalities. It's rare that I play a game that every single character was memorable, but I won't forget any of these anytime soon. There's a hybrid Elvis/Michael Jackson detective who dances everywhere, mobsters that all have very literal names like Nearsighted Gigo who has to use a shotgun to assassinate people, and there are so many more that are just best left to discover. To travel around to locations, you go through telephone wires, and these areas act as little vignettes into these people's lives. You get to see everything from grand plots with mobsters pulling strings in the background, to little things like a Pomeranian trying to protect his owner, or even an abusive alcoholic mother. There's a wide array of characters, and I honestly couldn't wait to see what the next one will bring to the table. On the technical side, the game is flawless. This is a DS game, so of course there should be no issues with performance, and I didn't experience a single bug. I touch on the character designs, but I love how they pop off the background. They're 3D models on a 2D background with smooth animations, and they look great. But my favourite part are the 2D sprites for me in the conversations. It highlights just how strong their designs are, and it shows off the beautiful array of colours in the game. Similarly, the music is amazing. There are a couple of main themes that are synthy, and I was bopping my head every time they played. But where it really shines is the area-specific songs that perfectly create the atmosphere of whatever room I was in. One thing to close this all off is that I'm so happy that this game's been ported to modern consoles. It's a game that has been on my radar for years, and I'm glad I finally got to experience it. Just like The World Ends With You, games like this are special, and they deserve to be played by as many people as possible. I simply couldn't put this game down. I was taken on a wild, unpredictable journey, and it's one of the best games I have played all year. And that's why I loved Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. So are you interested in picking this game up? Let us know in the comments down below. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.